Yes, sir.
Boss, already in the call?
No, but I can't see on the video. Okay, fine, I'll start. Okay. You're out of the studio again.
Gucci? Bishop, is Gucci there? We can open. Just open, shake it a bit. Shake a bit. No, the door, turn it around. Can't open. Right, I can't get in. No, I'm in already.
Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to each one of you. to the Curious Mind series podcast. Hi, Sukhbir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you and I can see you. So today is 20th of June, and the best part is it's a nice warm welcome to the 10th episode of the Curious Mind series. Now, I'm your host, Vikram, and today feels a little bit special as we have hit a very, very small milestone of the 10th episode. The Curious Mind series had started during the pandemic many years back. I'm sure none of us want to remember the pandemic now. With a very noble concept of enlightening people via people's experience, expertise, and wisdom in their respective fields. And whilst there was a hiatus in between, we have definitely picked up pace over the past 8 to 9 months, having successfully completed 7 episodes. To make it special for us on our 10th episode today, I am honored and I am humbled to have none other than Sukhbir Singh as our guest speaker today. And we touch base upon an ever evolving and an interesting topic, navigating the Malaysian talent landscape for success. Having interacted with Sukhbir a few times recently, I can assure you that the next 55 to 60 minutes is going to be engaging, it's going to be fun, and there is going to be learning hidden somewhere in between there. You have to pick the cues. As far as Sukhbir is concerned, pick the cues when he says those sentences. So, welcome to the Curious Mind series podcast, Sukhbir. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing fine, and I feel honored to be able to be on this podcast by your great self. It's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, that Sukhbir is somebody who's kept his title extremely short. If you see, it is an ecosystem strategist. Now, a lot of you will start thinking, what does an ecosystem strategist do? So, let me give you a little more insights into about Sukhbir. What does he do? And as sweet as the small title sounds, there is much more to him, honestly, than what comes to the eye. So, purely going by LinkedIn and what he's put on LinkedIn, and I'm just going to go a little bit of around it. Deputy Chair, Ecosystem Builder, Digital Tourism, MPC Associate, NGO, and an extremely seasoned professional with more than 22 years of extensive experience across various matters pertaining to the Malaysian Government Regulatory. That's a tongue twister. Holding senior positions with various organizations and associations. At the heart of it, Sukhbir is somebody who understands the Malaysian talent market very well and goes above and beyond its growth and assisting people achieve their dreams and goals. Just to add on, and I know Sukhbir is like silently, Vikram, what are you talking all this about? I can read your mind very well, Sukhbir. So I'll wrap it up in a sentence. But there is so much to you than an ecosystem strategist. Just to add on, along with being a CEO of M&N Group of companies and a co-founder and a CEO of a couple of other organizations like Bina Bakat, Kul QR, JBQR, Sukhbir is also a member of Subcommittee International Trade and Investment with Malaysia Australia Business Council and Deputy Chair Talent Network with British Malaysia Chamber of Commerce. So Sukhbir, wearing so many hats, let's begin with the first question, which obviously comes in a very curious way to me, is how do you manage all these roles and help navigate through them to achieve a common goal?
All right. Firstly, Vikram, thank you for such a lengthy and detailed description. I've just come to realize I'm doing a few things. Now, basically, looking at your question, if you see, all of them are interrelated. It could be from the British Chamber, it could be from the Malaysian Australian Business Council, it could be from the investments or the investors we bring to Malaysia, it could be even the digitalization, it could be even from the Malaysian Productivity Corporation. There's one common question, or there's one common marker in this: talent. So talent is, I will not say an issue, but talent is a crucial point these days. Because at the end of the day, if you do not have the correct talent, you can't do much. Even to even get your business running, even so, why I have been lucky to be placed in all these committees and positions, because they attract or they help one another in a way. That's why the position which I have put, ecosystem strategist, because you look at the ecosystem yourself. So this helps to develop the ecosystem.
Fantastic. Very, very, very nicely put. So while we are very much here, and whatever you're doing in the various associations you're with, obviously building talent and growing that talent, not only nurturing them, plays a very crucial and an important role. So while we are at it, I'm just going to kind of pop up. Hi, Eliza. It's Eliza saying hello, Sukhbir and Vikram. Hi, Eliza, to
Hi.
you. There is Azhar Hussain. Can't wait to hear what this session brings from YouTube. Thank
Oh,
you.
hi,
So,
Azhar.
just for our audience, hi Azhar. Just for our audience, for some of you, we started off again, like I said, with very noble beginnings of going LinkedIn live. But thanks to this today's episode, we have launched YouTube live as well. So we are very much live on YouTube at the same time as well as on LinkedIn. Then we have Gurshdeep, who's saying, can't wait to hear the insights on talent. So great. So we have quite a few of you who have joined us today. Thank you so much. And just to start, before we get the ball rolling, the entire essence of the Curious Mind series live podcast is that the guest speaker doesn't know what are the questions we are going to ask him or her. So, as much as Sukhbir ji is talented and he has his wisdom and experience and expertise, he has no clue what are the questions we are going to ask him over the next 50 minutes or so. And that is where the essence of the entire Curious Mind series LinkedIn Live podcast resides in. So, without further ado, let's start off with the first question. And while I'm at it, I would also like to urge all our people in the audience who are watching this live, whether it's on LinkedIn or whether it's on YouTube, please do write, comment, share, and that will really benefit us purely because we can answer on this moment very much, and you can hear it directly from Sukhbir. So if you have a question and you want to listen to Sukhbir's answer, there you go. Till that time, I'll get the ball rolling. And just to add on, thank you so much, Vignesh. Congratulations, Vikram, on the 10th session. Thank you so much. It is to people like yourself, Vignesh, and many more others who are listening to our podcast and are gaining great insights from it. And there's a lot of benefit to it. So let's start off. Based on your experience and the current scenario, what, according to you, Sukhbir, does the current Malaysian talent landscape look like? A broad question, but happy to hear your thoughts.
Well, I would say that's a brilliant question you put. It's really, really great. You see, it depends. Are we looking at it from which perspective of industry? Are you looking at it from the manufacturing? Are you looking at it from the E&E? Are you looking at it from the aerospace? Are you looking at it from the SME? So each one of this industry has their own things or requirements which they need. For example, if you're looking at the manufacturing industry, they may only be looking for a certain set of skills. Whereas if you're looking at the E&E, they may be looking at a certain set of skills. So the unique part about talent is how will it evolve in such a situation where everyone has their own needs. So this is where, when I was talking to you earlier, program for apprenticeship, TVET, these are the programs which will come in handy for these talents. Because when you pass out of college, university with a diploma, with a degree, with a certificate, are you ready for the world? Because at the end of the day, what you actually study or whatever you learn, and when you come to the real world, it's totally different. Because the situations, like I said, the ecosystem, the environment doesn't allow you to have that setback and say, okay, I'll take my time. No, you got to start. So that's why when it comes to this, a key factor with talent is, are the industries willing or accepting upscaling? For example, because when you come out, the normal questions talent get, oh, you don't have the experience, you don't have the know-how. When do they start? So like I said, it depends on how the companies, the industries would like to place the ecosystem of the talent. Because talent is now no longer just a number, it's an asset. And an asset, is not a liability, an asset is an asset. You know, think of it when you do not have the talent, how much of issues or problems the industry faces. I'm not
True.
talking about HR, but economically, it can affect industries, it can affect a lot of things. So if we look at it, talent is a very broad, I would say, broad word. But if you look at
Hmm.
it from the ecosystem perspective, it's talent is an asset. I would just roll that up in that word.
Okay. So that's the first one. Talent is an asset. Now, with that as an asset, and a lot of people look at talent. I mean, I've been in the HR space for a decent period of time, and talent plays an extremely critical, important role for any of the organizations to grow or to excel or to probably even fail. So, talent, like you said, the organizations which look at talent as an asset and build around that over a period of time have grown successfully. And
Sure.
very true. I mean, yeah, the market or the industry specific talent in Malaysia is very different. Now, just to add on to what you shared, can you share a bit more about the dual education and training, do it, and how Bina Bakat's mandate, which is an organization you have co-founded, includes the promotion and implementation of dual education and training programs in supporting the overall talent ecosystem in Malaysia. So, can you kind of touch base about what is Bina Bakat about? What was the essence of starting this organization, and how it is helping today's talent market within Malaysia?
Sure. You see, Bina Bakat is basically an NGO which was co-founded by myself and I would say a few distinguished gentlemen. The word distinguished gentlemen because a few of them are from certain academia industry. So we have got a mix of all the I would say all the flavors. Okay, so the programs which we are doing at Bina Bakat is still a pilot project, so they've not been launched in the open. But when you talk about dual education, we are focusing on programs like apprenticeship,
Mm-hmm.
because the current issues about education talent is retention. Because why we came up with this dual education is because people or talents get bored on their job, day in, day out, the same thing. So, but when the talent knows that there is room for expansion, improvement, that will give a self motivation to them. Because imagine we are whole day doing the same work, day in, day out for the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
Yes, maybe your salary has increased, maybe your lifestyle has increased, but your mind is there. Same thing, same out. You become like a robot, you know. And then
It's
do
very
you have
monotonous.
this? Yeah, monotonous. So do you have the sense of what do you call it? Fulfillment. Do you have the sense of happiness? Do you have the sense of having a career? So are you doing it just for your bread and butter, or are you just doing it because you love the job? Because when you love something, you will do it with a lot of action. When I mean action is with a lot of skills. Whereas if you do something just for the sake of doing it, you can see the output. So that is the reason why Bina Bakat, we came up with this program called Apprenticeship Retention Program. Because apart
Mm-hmm.
from fulfilling the needs of talent, we find that retention has become an issue with the industries. You know,
Yep.
well, I don't blame the talents because at the end of the day, we are human beings. So any talent looks for the best offer. So
Mm-hmm.
it
Absolutely.
becomes the responsibility, or in a way, it becomes the duty of the industry or the particular company to see how can they retain it. You see, like for example, there are a few companies who will even throw in free lunches, free sorts of I would say freebies. So how do you attract your talent? So what when we were doing this apprenticeship retention program, it's basically improving their skill sets as they go along their career. So they know in 3 years' time, if they keep following this program, they will be, for example, a supervisor or a manager. or a specialist, so they can see their ladder of progress. So these
Nice.
are
So is
things which
this
you must look at.
okay? And is this specific to a particular industry, or is this specific to a particular sector? Because they kind of apprentices pretty much in a particular industry or a sector. So is there a focus there?
I mean, on our focus, we actually have just started with the aerospace industry, and of course with
Okay.
the IT industry. I mean, just this is just like I said, it's in the pilot stage. But an
Fine.
apprenticeship program can be in any industry because the
Correct.
syllabus are based by the industry. It's not a syllabus by the academia, but is by the industry. It can be even in a management office. So there is no like a current rule to say that no, you only can be in this industry, that industry, because at the end of the day, what you make as syllabus is approved by the industry or by the association or by the company.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And you're partnering with people in the Malaysian government body?
Yes, we have actually, Bina Bakat, we are partnering with government agencies in trying to roll out this program. But like I said, it's still in the pilot project stage, which we are still doing our studies and surveys. Because correlate to that, we want to see what is the outcome of the talent. Because the talent also needs to see that this is something which benefits them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. And
it's
okay. No,
sorry.
I was coming to what is the duration within which they would start seeing the result. So we will start seeing the result. One, is it implemented, even from a talent's perspective? Is it a
See
year,
from a
2 years, or more?
no, you see, it cannot be too long because why? The end of the day, the talent gets bored. You know, you see, with this era of instant coffee, instant noodles, everything needs to be at a click
Everything.
of a button. You know, you switch on
Correct.
your laptop, your iPad, you don't find it, what do you call it, going live in 2 seconds or 5 minutes, you get worried. So they're gradually, some are 3 months, some are 6 months, but obviously if you see the 3 months, they won't have much of yield or benefits as to
Mm-hmm.
the ones which
Mm-hmm.
have been tailor made maybe for 9 months or 12 months or 18 months. But gradually they will see a set of skills because for giving an example, if let's say I'm looking at the production, I am actually doing a certain part of a manufacturing, and I do that for the first 3 months. Then I speed up. I move up to maybe some level higher, level 2, level 3. So you will see that the talent will realize that he is not doing the same thing which he has been doing 3 months ago.
Oh,
So the talent
true.
will realize that, okay, oops, there's something new, you know. So when there's something new being done, then we can see how does he cope, because not everyone is used to changes. And of course, as they go along, there will be a mentor and how to guide them. And at the end of the day, then they will realize that, okay, there are changes coming along, and the management will sit with them and explain, okay, this is our chart, and this is how we want your career to progress.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thanks so much. If you do have a glass of water, you're going to do the maximum talking. Do drink, Sukhbir. But I'm good at this point in time in terms of uh, I have my glass of water from here on a virtual session.
Ah, so what is it? What is it? Is water alone, or is just coffee or tea?
It's plain water for now. I know it is a
Ah, plain
Thursday
water.
evening, but it is plain water for now. Okay, I was going to shoot the next question, which is pretty much in link with what you
Let
shared
me
just
buckle
now.
up.
And
Let
there's
me buckle up. Let me buckle up. Huh? I said let me
okay.
buckle up because do you expect turbulence or something like that?
No, no, pretty easy, nice, easy-going discussion. But before I ask the next one, we have Vignesh from a YouTube live who's asking, and I'm just going to pop it up right there. What kind of leadership style approach is required in organizations to groom talents and help them progress in their role within the organization? Thanks, Vignesh. That's a very good question. Over to you,
Yes.
Sukhbir.
You see, there, at the end of the anything you do, there is no one set fit all. So it depends on the individual, it depends on the organization, and also the industry. You see, it could be even a senior, I would say, administrator, I would say even a senior supervisor who could supervise a new junior supervisor. You see, at the end of the day, it's what fits them best. Because imagine you have I'll just give an example, a production operator. If you get a senior engineer trying to mentor or guide a production operator, there may be an issue of understanding. There may be a supremacy of gap of superiority. So it could be maybe a senior production operator, or maybe someone slightly higher than him. So the required leadership or approach could be anything, because it's something which the industry has to set. That's why with apprenticeship, the mentor program is good, because it helps them to grow, and it also helps the talent to feel comfortable. So it could be anyone. Like, we have had situations where we have even had a senior mechanic in one of the aerospace industries to train the new group of mechanics which were coming. And many people asked why. Because the experience he has or she has is far more than what the engineer has. Because at the end of the day, you need to know basics. You need to know the ground level work. Yes, no doubt the engineer or anyone else will have the skills. But at the end of the day, we need someone who knows the basics. So what Vigneshwaran's question was very good. It could be anyone who has been there for a certain time. But the rule is the person must have sufficient knowledge of that particular industry or that particular thing which he wants to groom the talent.
Fantastic. So knowledge is one. And in addition to what Vignesh is asking is there a leadership style? So if we say this is knowledge and experience in that particular industry, based on your experience, Sukhbir, is there a particular leadership style or approach which should enhance, in terms of grooming talent? Is there a particular leadership style which you would say, this is probably a good style? You have led many teams, you do lead many teams right now.
Sure.
Based on your own experience.
Well, because we are doing this thing as a pilot and apprenticeship, we have found that our doing is simple. Anyone who has the necessary set of experience and skills. So it could be somebody who has been there maybe for the last 5 years, but doesn't have enough or sufficient knowledge on that particular product, on how to manufacture the product. It may not work. So basically, at the end of the day, a teacher is as good as how they impart the knowledge to their students. I may be a senior teacher, but at the end of the day, if I don't have basics on how to groom my students, it's going to be bad on me. So the leadership style and approach is simple. Someone who knows the product, or someone who knows the industry, and who knows how to start from ground level. I mean, when I mean ground level, not literally ground level, but someone who knows how to have basics. Because when you want to do anything, for example, now a lot of engineers, for example, now they go for internship. They are taught by mechanics, supervisors, superintendents. But if these supervisors and superintendents who are teaching them do not have the sufficient in-depth knowledge, it will be unfair to these interns. So at the end of the day, the leadership style should be anyone who possesses a set of skills.
Knowledge. Okay. Fair enough. That's nice. Thank you so much. Thanks. And before, I hope, Vignesh, it does answer to your question. Feel free to comment. But by the time I kind of go ahead from Vignesh to my own question, we already have Eliza, who's asking us on LinkedIn Live, what is an ideal soft skill to expose to new talent? Very nice, Eliza.
Well, if you ask me, I mean, there are a few.
Be honest.
It's basically helping or teaching the new talents to understand. Because the end of the day, when you are talking about a set of soft skills, they differ on industries. So at the end of the day, what are you going to teach a new recruit? Like when you do a new recruit, you have usually basic, you do a small tour, you do a bit of things which are familiar to the industry, you know. So you can look at soft skills. Soft skills could be maybe even looking at teamwork, working as a team. Soft skills could be even trying to analyze. It could be even communication skills. Because from what I see currently from the talents, communication is the key factor because we are so on our devices. We don't even know how to communicate,
Express,
you know,
articulate,
express,
express.
communicate, articulate, adapt. You know, these are all things which are very basic, which we tend to overlook because we expect them to be done in the schools and all. But you see, the thing is about when you come out there in a new talent, you are expected to work in as a group, as a team. So, do we know how to work as a team? What is there to work as a team? You know, you see, previously as we were all growing up, I know you're very young, but as I was growing up, we used to play a lot of sports.
Are you talking about me? Okay, let's not get there on a
Yeah,
live show, but
yeah, no. So we were playing a lot of sports, and we knew the meaning of sportsmanship, teamwork. But these days, talents are more on gadgets, more on things which are not where there's no involvement of teamwork, and communication is
yeah,
another factor.
yeah.
But
And
then again, this is just my opinion. I mean, I may be, you know, thinking it from a different perspective.
fair enough. No, I think it is. I think communication, articulation, these are some of the soft skills which are very, very important,
I
Eliza.
could share an example with you. We had a guy we were talking, and he is a qualified engineer, first class honors. But when the company asked him to write a report, he had some problems.
And
Because
I
he
mean,
was
due to
supposed to
the advent
work,
of, hmm, sorry, it's breaking
because
off a
he's
bit in
supposed to work
between,
with
but
a team to,
hmm,
yeah. So he was supposed to engage with the team to prepare a report. But because of communication skills and not knowing how to work as a team, that became an issue.
it happens. I mean, that is one of the, if you ask me, in continuation to what Sukhbir is saying, Eliza, I think communication skills, how you articulate, how you present your thoughts, play a very, very important role at that entry level because that will be your kind of, your ladder to success. If I were to if I were to play it accordingly. Okay, I think we've answered to you, Eliza. Thank you so much. Moving on, a question coming from my side is there a skill gap in Malaysia right now? And if yes, based on your experience, Sukhbir, which sectors or industries are specifically hit and at what level?
Well, I would not say specific industries. The gap
Okay.
is there because I would just maybe sum it up for you to make it easy and to save myself. Mismatch. You see, the gap is there because of job mismatch. Because currently, if you see, the mismatch is a problem which creates not only high turnover, but like you said, the gaps. Because when you have somebody who doesn't fit the role, but they take it just as they have no other choice, or the industries have no other choice because they're short of manpower or they're short of talent. So it's basically an issue which is, I mean, not only in Malaysia, but global, where there is a skill set gap. Because like we have people who want to go out maybe to overseas, who want to, you know, move on for their betterment. But I would sum that skill gap to be mismatch.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's my opinion because we find that the skills are there, but because of the mismatch, it has created a gap.
And how big is the gap? If we to say that what is coming out from the education sector in terms of fresher talent coming, or what is there available in the market compared to what is required in the industry? Is it a very big gap? Is it an okay gap, or is it something which can be mitigated as a risk over a
I would
period of
say
time by
as of
training?
now, I would say as of now, it's still a manageable gap. Because you see,
Okay.
that's why the industry and the academia are working together. As you can see, there are a lot of programs where now, as to
Yes.
compared to
Yes.
previously, where the industries were alone, the academia were alone. But now, what has happened? There's a lot of integration. There's a lot of collaboration. So that's why, as I said, the gap is manageable, but there is still a gap. But it's improving because we've got academia, we've got the government taking a lot of initiatives, there's a lot of programs, and also the government is subsidizing with various type of programs where they want the industries and the academia and the talent to benefit from it. So this way they help companies, they help industries to subsidize, for example, internship programs and various
Hmm.
programs which can help to reduce the gap.
Okay. 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 And do you think, are we reaching out to the right audience? Are people very much aware about it? Are they taking benefits from it, or is there a scope or an opportunity somewhere to kind of educate people more about these programs and what can they benefit from?
Of course, there is never enough is enough, you know. You know, there is never enough. But you see, I mean, because now I'm at the British Chamber, I'm the Australian Chamber, and I see that the
Hmm.
chambers are having um, great responsibilities which they're taking on to share with their members. So the government is not only reaching out to industries, they are reaching out to chambers, trade organizations to for them to explore the initiatives they have. But like I said,
Hmm.
there's never enough. But we can see that the government has been allocating funds and it has been quite a success. Many programs you can look at programs which I tell you, if I start now, probably I'll need a day to finish it, where the
Yes.
government has been having success on this, where they not only like, okay, I give you an example, one which is the Malaysian Productivity Corporation Academy and Industry, where the government is supportive,
Hmm.
where they help to I would say supplement or to support the industries by paying for the training and the skills, and also giving certain allowances to the talent. Then you've got the K Youth program. You have got many programs by various government agencies. But then again, as the new what do you call it, students, as the new graduates, new talents are coming up, these programs are going to be, not sufficient. But then again, the government has been spending, as you can see, a lot of time,
A lot. A
a
lot.
lot of strategizing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's great. Thank you so much, Sukhbir. We're pretty much halfway through our episode, through our podcast, and it's been really nice with some questions and some great insights from you.
I thought
Again,
we were just the first half. I thought we were just the first quarter.
time will fly. I can assure you that. But
So
having
do I
said
get
that,
to
going
ask you
back
a
to the
question later?
nobody has asked me like that before. But okay, I will give you, because it is our 10th episode today, and I will give you that one freebie of asking me one question. And we'll do that in the end before the rapid fire round.
No
Is
problem.
that okay?
No problem. No, sure. I'm just pulling your
Okay.
leg. No problem.
Okay. I knew that was coming somewhere from you. um Kind of, before we kind of move on, and this is to the audience, if you have any questions, any comments, whether you're watching us on YouTube or LinkedIn Live, please feel free to ask. We have Sukhbir with tons of experience of the knowledge and expertise in the talent market within Malaysia, and he's more than happy. He's always willing to share his insights from that. And again, before we go to the next question, thank you, Eliza, for kind of reiterating what we said. You She said, "Thank you, Vikram and Sukhbir. I'm taking down notes. We appreciate that, Eliza." I think these days the younger talent more quiet, and I notice their behavior. Yes, it is. Do you want to share your thoughts about it? You deal a lot with them right now, Sukhbir. I have my thoughts about it, but this is, you're the guest. So, what are your thoughts about younger talent being more quiet at this point in time?
You see, why is someone quiet? Is it because they
Hmm.
are scared? Is it because they are worried? Or is it because they are not confident enough? So we must look at that question. Why are they quiet? You know, and which situation makes them quiet? Because sometimes when they are around familiar surroundings or they are around certain people, they may not be quiet. So why are they quiet? And also their behavior. The behavior and being quiet, Eliza, beautiful question. I think it's super. You know, it matches because why? When you're quiet, your behavior changes. Then you got the introvert and all. But many of them are not introvert. Many of them, I've talked to the talents, they are not confident enough, or they're scared of being made that they have made an error. So I've told a few of them, I said, there is no harm in making errors. We learn from errors. So being quiet, many of them perceive as the easy way out. You know, but at the end of the day, we as either the industry and the association as the companies, you know, there are good talents which are quiet as well because they may be doing their own work or they may not be doing other things. But being quiet doesn't mean they are good. Being quiet means that we have to build their confidence. We have to take them out of the shadows. So
very true. Very true. It is also depending on the environment which we provide them to open up.
I mean, I'll give you an experience. One of my team members where we have, and he was an introvert, you know. So initially, everyone thought he was shy. Everyone thought he was a gentleman. Everyone thought, no, he's just, you know. But then after realizing, we found that he's an introvert, and we found that they have got their advantages. And he was actually one of the best team members because he took that as an strength of his. And of course, after a certain time, of course, being an introvert is not easy, but he was started talking. Like I said, he became familiar with the environment. And the most important is, I think, we should give confidence to these younger talents, whereby if you make a mistake, there's nothing wrong. Or if you do an error, it's not the end of the world. We learn from mistakes. I mean, even you, myself, we all up to today, at this moment, we are making mistakes. You know, there's no one perfect. So sometimes many of these younger talents cannot accept dejection. They cannot accept that they have made a mistake. Fine. So we build that confidence and tell them, look, it's all right. Move on. You make a mistake, no problem. So I have equated making a mistake to taking a wrong turn when you're driving.
Absolutely. Very nice. Very nicely put.
I told one of the young talents, you know, because we're having this internship program with Kazana under the KU. So we said, if you made a mistake, nothing wrong. Imagine you're driving and you've taken the wrong exit. That doesn't mean your world comes to an end. You just keep driving and you find the next exit. And if you're on Waze, Waze will help you and guide you. So
it is very much like in Malaysia. Like you go onto the wrong lane and you go for the next U-turn is around 15 minutes ahead or 20 kilometers ahead, and you can still come back. So the learning is you can still come back. Very nicely put. Yeah.
So what I told them, I said, there is no harm. You make a mistake is good because why? That's why it's called the learning process. So, and behaviors are basically once you open up, once you are confident, your behavior changes. And so at the end of the day, I think the young talent is not like those days where you have to be very harsh. Now we have to approach them from a different perspective.
Okay. Very nice. I'm going to move on to a little sensitive topic or a little sensitive question at this point in time.
I'm holding on. I'm holding on to the table.
What are your thoughts on hiring foreign talent, either to compensate for the skill gap or build capabilities of future talent, future local talent? So thoughts around it. I know you're very much into it, but happy to hear you.
So, very sensitive topic. But you see, if you look at foreign experts, I'm talking about experts. Why do we need experts? Because they have got the specialized skills. So anything you do, you need skills, experts.
Correct.
So
Correct.
they could be local, they could be foreign. They come here, they train, and they go back. But the end of the day is there must be a chart. It must be a pattern. There must be a plan that if they are coming here, what is the purpose, and how doesn't it affect the local talents? Because at the end of the day, when you bring any experts from foreign, be it expatriates, be it the short term, what you have to think is how is the company going to make sure the talents, the local talents, benefit out of this, and what is the
Absolutely.
time frame? Because you see, anything which is done with a plan is good. Because at the end of the day, the government must see that bringing in these experts or these foreign talents benefit not only the company or the economy, but it benefits the locals. Because we may not have the specialized set of skills to train them. We may not have the specialized skills. Like, for example, you have many training courses ongoing. You have foreigners who come and they train. Because why? They have got the specialized set of skills. And their skills can help develop the talents here. So bringing foreign, it's good, but as long as it's, I would say, scheduled, there is a process on how you plan to
Process.
evolve it to the local talent.
But do you think it is something, in addition to what you answered, do you think it is something which will continue to happen? Because there is definitely a gap in the industry, and it will remain for a
Sure.
period of time. I can purely talk from a tech hiring perspective. I've hired a lot of foreign talents into Malaysia purely from a tech hiring perspective, where there is a huge demand in Malaysia, but there
Sure.
is not enough local talent because they've not homegrown
Sure.
over a period of time.
Sure.
And we've hired those talent. They have kind of trained people, and the teams are built, the projects are delivered, and so on and so forth. But do you think, given the current scenario and the fact that on one side there is unemployment of the locals in specific sectors, to be very careful about it, and on one end we do go out there and hire foreign talent, how do you think this balances out, or how do you think we close the gap over a period of time?
You see, you can look it from two perspectives. The first
Hmm.
perspective is by bringing in these foreign experts or talent, you are creating opportunities. When there's opportunities, you are opening up, again, I go back to the word ecosystem. You are creating an ecosystem whereby local talents can be employed. So when these experts or foreign talent come in, they must be coming in for a particular purpose because they're not cheap. So
Hmm.
companies bring
True.
them in for a particular purpose or for a particular project. So that is where, if you look at it, they help to develop the ecosystem. When you mean the ecosystem, they help to develop not only the economy, they help to create jobs. They help to train the locals. So locals will be able to have the skill sets which they do not have. And once they have these specialized skill sets, it will help them improve their quality of life and as
Hmm.
well make them look out for better opportunities. See, the other
Nice.
part which you're
Nice.
saying about unemployment, I agree. Yes, it's an issue, but we cannot just say because of unemployment we are stopping talents to come in. Because stopping talents to come in, you're not letting the economy grow. So it depends on how the government or the industry or the individual or the talent looks at it. You
Okay.
know, because
Okay.
skill sets are something which are not developed overnight. They come through experience, they come through knowledge,
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes.
these are things which, I mean, you yourself will understand because you have been around. you know so that's the good thing, because let's say we get a foreign talent, two come or one come, they may be able to train 10 people. Rather than these 10 have other opportunities, this will be a bigger and better opportunity for them.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Well, good thoughts. Before I move on to the next question, I know we progressed a question while Eliza typed this, so I'm just going to read it out. And thanks, Eliza, to the previous answer which we had. I
Wow.
agree. I've heard some horror stories regarding interns and young professionals when they make mistakes and their superiors come after them. Yes, Eliza, I have heard too. Instead of taking an opportunity to teach, they scold. Yes, I like what you said about learning process. They just need a good exposure and an environment trust me, Eliza, I'm sure Sukhbir is going to say this, but based on my couple of decades of experience, I have witnessed an experience. It all boils down to the exposure and the environment we give people. And if the right one is given, there's nobody who wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to perform poorly today. Nobody. At least I have not come across somebody who says, I'm really going to perform poorly today. I'm not going to give my best. It doesn't happen like that. It is all about how do they motivate themselves, or somebody motivates them based on the environment given. Isn't that true, Sukhbir?
You are 100% correct. I mean, it's sad to say that many people look at this from a different perspective. See, by scolding someone, are you going to get the work done? I mean, look at it. Look at it from a child's perspective. I mean, you have your children. If your child does a mistake, you scold. You are not going to get the message through. But if the same thing is said from a polite, from softer perspective, they may be able to, It's like I came across the other day, I was reading an article. There was this parent who was saying that, I can't remember the age of the child, I think it was below 10. The child was using the massage chair, and they were saying that the parents kept scolding not to use it. So finally, someone came and explained to that kid that, if you use the chair every day, it's going to affect your bones. You won't be able to grow, So he explained the process of using the massage chair to the young kid. And it boils down to educating. So they said at the end of the day, with all the scolding, the kid never stopped using the chair. But after that small education program, he stopped or she stopped. So in this also, when somebody makes a mistake, why they make mistakes? Because they're not familiar. And I like how Eliza has used the word interns and young professionals. So they are young. They are bound to make mistakes because it's an unfamiliar route. So the talent or the superiors, like I said, must have the necessary skills to correct them. That's why, compared to the earlier question we were discussing with the other gentleman, it's very important that the person who guides the interns or the young professional has the relevant skill sets and is not too high above the hierarchy. So imagine you've got a new intern coming in. You don't expect the operations director to be interning him or mentoring him. You need somebody from that section, because why? Everyone has got their own responsibilities. So at the end of the day, educating the interns or the professionals is the key of success.
Okay, nice. Very interesting. Thank you, Eliza. Thank you for putting it up there. I've shared my views, and so has Sukhbir shared his views. The time is really flying by, but I have some at least key. While I go there and Eliza is typing, thank you. We need to build more leaders with emotional intelligence. Yes, absolutely, Eliza. And the time is flying by.
May I just add? Probably looking at LSS question, that could be a soft skills for the for the management. Maybe this could be a part of a new syllabus or a new course for them to understand. Like Eliza is right, emotional intelligence.
I am glad, Eliza, that you're enjoying it. We are still 10-15 minutes away from wrapping up, and please hold on there because there is a rapid fire round also. There are a couple of very interesting questions I'm going to ask Sukhbir. There's a rapid fire round, and I will give Sukhbir an opportunity to ask me only one question, and I don't know what's going to come my way. So there is, again, another sensitive one. While we spoke about foreign talent coming into the country, are we experiencing brain drain of good, solid local Malaysian talent to neighboring countries or even wider other countries? If yes, what, according to you, Sukhbir, are implementable solutions to address this?
It's a very simple answer. Making the environment or the working environment more conducive. You see, for example, we have got many situations where, like you're saying, brain dead, people get up as early as 3 o'clock in the morning, cross over the borders to Singapore and all. But I'm very sure that
Mm,
if there could be, because I've come across many industries in Johor Bahru especially, and I've asked them, I say, how do you do it? They said it's about making the working environment more conducive. It's not the money alone. It's about making them feel the sense of importance. Like I'll give you an example. Like when I went to one of these companies, and there was some water spilled on the floor. The next thing I heard somebody saying, "Let's get the HI to clean it." So I thought was high. I was presuming that's the person's name, but no, health inspector. You know, so the
mm,
cleaner was known as the health inspector. You know, I mean, it may not be much, but I could see that. I asked them more. They said because when the person leaves the premise of the office, and when they ask, "What are you working as?" It's the health inspector. Yes, the money is important, but then again, also the working environment and how do you help to grow. You see, the issue is about growing the talent. So
mm.
that's where, like I was telling, apprenticeship, TVET, and all. These are programs which will help develop the talent.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Two more questions, and then we'll get into the rapid fire round. Um, what do you think? How much is the advent of AI, and we are all talking about it, coming in, and the Malaysian government investing heavily in it, will impact the near future of the talent landscape in Malaysia?
I don't think so. Talent. I mean, this is my opinion. I don't think AI can replace the human thing
No.
because, for example, I can't ask AI to build me a house. You know, I can't ask AI to cook me food. You know, So at the end of the day, I think AI is good, but it's like a face which is now there. It's the
Hmm.
latest thing on the block. So this is something which will be there. Like as we grew up, there were encyclopedias and there was everything. But now AI is at a fingertip. So I think for me, AI is just more like a Google search. And
Okay.
how much have we, if you look at it, what's the difference between AI and Google? They're almost the same. The only thing is you get more information, you get more things from AI. But then again, we humans tend to look to new evolution, new technology. So there are a lot of things which AI can't do, which we will still need to do. They can't even, like I said, making a meal. Yes, you can say that a robot and all, but then again, there are a lot of things which AI is good. I would say that it helps to improve the quality of life and the career as well. Yeah, but of course,
Okay.
they are good
Okay.
and bad. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great. Do you think in the coming years, Malaysia possesses the desired talent, uh, but the challenge lies in deploying and utilizing its strategy? So, what do you think does a near or a foreseeable future look like? Whether it's 2025, 2025 is just next year. So, that's a very near future. But from a pure Malaysian talent landscape perspective, what does 2025 or 2030 look like, according to you? What does future look like?
I would say that we will have better quality talents in the coming future because of the government initiatives and also the programs which are being undertaken. You can see that
Mm-hmm.
currently the government and a lot of other agencies, be it private, be it public, they have started engaging, like I said, industries and academia. So there has been a lot of collaboration which will help to develop because these industries and collaborations were not as much as it was before. Now
Before.
you can see
Yes.
how the universities, industries, even talents, they are taking a fair part, and the government too is playing a lot of part in trying to make this work. So once we understand the gap between the academia and the industry, this will be able to put the train onto the track, and there won't be any derailment.
Fantastic. Okay. So it looks promising. It looks quite futuristic. And there is this sheer optimism that Malaysia is poised for growth based on various factors. And we can probably have another podcast on what are the various factors. But there is this sheer optimism on the ground. Um, what are your thoughts about it? Is it something which is real? It is based on the companies. You also deal with the new organizations or the new companies which are investing into Malaysia. So, is it something which is you are experiencing, on kind of on a real time basis?
Well, yes, there is influx. I will use the word influx of investments,
Hmm.
growth in this country, as you can see. Because the end of the day, you can see how things are moving forward with a lot of positiveness coming in. I'm in two chambers, so I can see the perspective from that side, and then you can see also from the industries. You can see, and then I have a few hats, so I've got the digital tourism, so you can see that there are a lot of influx of positivity in investments and also growth, which are coming in Malaysia. But people will say because we are cheap or we are good, but because we have got a few positive things like with connectivity, electricity, water supply, internet. So these are all things, and weather. So these are all things which investors or anyone who wants to build an ecosystem and industry looks in any country.
Yeah, and for somebody who's come to Malaysia and resided here for a long period of time, I can list down all the positives you said and many more for Malaysia to be poised for growth. It does look like I can see it, I can feel it, and there are various initiatives the government is taking. You can, probably read it on a daily basis of what they're doing. So that's great. Okay, we're pretty much on the hour, and we'll just take around 5 to 7 minutes more. We go into the last part. So, firstly, thank you so much, Sukhbir, for all your insights on the talent landscape from a Malaysian talent landscape perspective. I think they were very helpful. I'm going to put it up what Azhar had to mention. Azhar says, love your take on having trust on young, inexperienced talents. Let's form a workplace which cultivates confidence and skills. Absolutely, Azhar. Couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But thank you so much, Sukhbir. Yes, you wanted to share something, Sukhbir, on this.
No. I said, you see, young talents are not only talents; they are the future. So if we do not nurture them now, or we do not guide them now, that's our future. And I've worked with a lot of young talents, and I find their work amazing.
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that kind of wraps up our curious mind query section on from a talent perspective, and we move on to the rapid fire round. Before we move on to the rapid fire round, and because it is our 10th episode, I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask me that one question you wanted to ask me.
I thought I would do it after the fire round.
Okay, let's do it after the rapid fire round. Are you ready for the rapid fire round?
Okay.
Okay, so the rapid fire round is fun, easy. It has got nothing to do with the talent landscape or the topic which we said. It is more to know about you, Sukhbir, as a person, as a guest speaker. For our audience, they should also know probably some of your peers, colleagues, juniors, teammates who are also listening to this podcast will come to know more about you, who might not know that kind of side of you at this
Okay.
point in time.
One thing. When in any organization, nobody is junior. Like I every time tell them, we are a
Nice.
team. Because so just the point. Because why I tell anyone, I say, do not look yourself as senior, junior. Because when this happens, it affects. So I tell them, I say, guys, we all are teammates. Actually, no, it's to make myself look younger. That's it. No, it's to make myself look younger. That's it.
I don't know what is the intention behind it, but I think it is a very right thought. I can pretty much vouch for the people who are in your team are extremely happy, engaged, and thriving. So probably some of them don't know some of these answers about you or some of these questions I'm going to ask you. So let's start the rapid fire round very, very quickly. Which is your favorite place in Malaysia and why?
What for visiting or for any particular reason?
Anything. Open. Anything.
Oh,
the most favorite place in Malaysia and why?
Oh, Johor Bahru.
And why?
Because I grew up there in my early years, and I feel at home there. So yeah, Johor Bahru. Yeah.
Home is where the heart is. Okay. So favorite place is Johor Bahru. Next time I go there, I've been there a couple of times. In fact, I've been to a gurudwara, which is very nice. But next time I go there, I'll ask you
Sure, please
some
do.
tips. Second rapid fire question. What is your favorite board game or online game, and how often do you indulge in it?
Chess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And how often do you play?
I try to play every day, at least a game with
Wow.
my kids. I try, but usually I'm not successful. In a week, maybe 3 4 times. Yeah.
Nice. And who gets checkmate most of the time?
Well, I have actually taught my kids to play like me, so it's hard to decide sometimes.
I like that answer. You actually checkmate me on this answer. Let's go ahead. Um, what is your zodiac sign? We are not asking your age. We are not asking your birth date on a live discussion. But what is your zodiac sign? And tell us
I
three
think it's
traits
Virgo.
about it. You're a Virgo?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The thing was unclear.
You lost. Yeah. What is your zodiac sign? And tell us three key traits about it. So, are you a Virgo? All I heard was a Virgo.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo. Yeah. Well, I
Three
think
traits
from
about
what
it.
I heard, they are yeah, three crates. I think they are hardworking. They are.
Mhm.
I think I only saw hardworking, and I think romantic. I think if I'm wrong, I'm not wrong. I'm not sure, but that's the only two I know.
Okay, there is a little homework for you, Sukhbir. You should go back and ask or do a little bit of study around what are the Virgo traits which you have, because Virgos have a
Yes,
lot
I
of
think I
traits, but
have
you
to.
should.
True.
Yes. Okay. Fourth question. Which is your favorite local cuisine or international cuisine in Malaysia?
Local cuisine will be nasi biryani or nasi kanda. Same. They actually literally not the same. Sorry, nasi kanda. And
Mhm.
international will be lamb chops.
Oh, nice. Okay. And while we are at it, there is Eliza saying Virgo is resourceful. Yes, Eliza.
Ah, thank you,
Interest.
Eliza. Thank you.
Interestingly, Vignesh says Virgo here
ah,
too, and so we have a few
Virgo
Virgos
rules.
on the LinkedIn. Virgo rules. It's a Virgo chat right now. Okay, that's nice, Vignesh. That's nice. And the last question. So moving on from lamb chops to nasi. Nasi, what was it?
Nasi kanda.
Nasi biryani. Nasi
Nasi,
biryani.
yeah, nasi biryani, nasi kanda. Yeah.
Nasi ganda. The last question, last but not the least. Who is that one person, Sukhbir, you idolize in your life or have idolized and look up to, and why?
Well, he'll be my father because where I am today is because of him. Because he
Okay.
has been a mentor and a guide throughout my life.
Okay. Okay. Well, Father's Day was, which was recently there, and I'm sure you would have appreciated. Yes, there are a lot of fathers in the world who are a guiding light to their children, and I'm glad your father is one, which is just fantastic. Okay, we are pretty much a little more, no, not much, 6 minutes more
Oh,
than
okay.
the hour, and we started pretty much on time. So that completes the rapid fire round. Before I wrap up, again, for the 10th episode, one question from you to me, and I'm happy to answer. And I've not been on the receiving end for recently, so it's going to be quite interesting. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I mean, I'm amazed of how you have come up with this podcast. I mean, how did you think of it? I mean, how did you come up with this idea of curious minds? Because it's something which not everyone hears of curious minds. So it's, I mean, what got you into this?
Well, I think, thanks for asking that, Sukhbir. I think the entire essence, I've always been a curious mind, to be honest. It's just that I never put it on paper. You can put me in a coffee shop, or you can put me in a restaurant, or you can put me at any location, anywhere. I think I can sit in one corner and I can have thousand questions about it. And there is always this immense amount of curiosity in me as to say why this is like this, why that is like this, why a person behaves like this, why things happen the way they happen in the universe. So that's always been the case with me. And I've always been a curious mind. Now, during the pandemic, when we were all at home, and we were all stuck, and that was peak pandemic in 2021. I thought of, people want to gain from each other's wisdom, knowledge, experience, expertise. So I said, I have these immense amount of curiosity where I want to ask people questions and get some answers. And I said, why shouldn't I be the only one benefiting from it? There should be others who should also benefit from this. And in that entire essence, literally one day the aha moment happened. I said, I will start something called as the Curious Mind series on LinkedIn Live, because there's a lot of audience whom I know well on LinkedIn who would love to hear this. So that is exactly how the Curious Mind series started. And with that entire essence of that, I will ask questions because I am curious and I have enough questions. In fact, today I didn't ask you three more questions. I had three more questions, but I have enough questions in kind of my bank to ask. But I think from what I'm asking to people, it is benefiting other people from the knowledge and wisdom or experience what the guest speaker is sharing with us. And that's exactly the entire essence around the Curious Mind series. And I'm glad it has come to a level where we are very humble beginnings, but we have come to around 10 episodes now. We have launched YouTube Live,
Yes.
and we will continue to kind of go on this journey.
Proud of you. I mean, what you have done is remarkable. Remarkable is the word. And I feel honored. Thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be on this platform. But really, it's been really an eye-opener. Meeting you is wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you, Sukhbir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Is pretty much on a high, but I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, sharing your insights on the Malaysian talent landscape. Please do like, comment, share to the audience which has been listening to us. We really want to thank both Sukhbir and myself. Would like to thank you for listening to us for pretty much an hour now. And if you have any more interesting topics which you think would be good, you want to listen on the Curious Mind series, please do let us know. We will continue to have these sessions, these podcast series going forward as well. So stay the way you are. Sukhbir, any last parting words from your side, at least for the day, before we wrap up?
No, seriously, I mean, your Curious Minds is actually the appropriate topic for this because it helps, because talent, be it young, be it old, have to be curious to get to where they are and to become better. At the end of the mind, curiosity is something which will help you to improve or develop yourself.
Thank you so much. I'm not going to say anything else because that is the best way to sum this up and wrap this up. So have a nice evening ahead, everyone. Thank you for joining.
You.
Until next time on the Curious Mind series. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks, Vikram. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.